Hello Artcadets, welcome to my channel where learning art is fun. I'm Sarah, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I draw my Converse shoes with a little help from this Slinky spring coil here. So if we look at Slinky from the top, it just looks like a circle, but when we open it out we can see that in actual fact this Slinky spring is made up of one big metal coil. You've probably all seen them before, but how can we use this coil to help us draw? Well, this coil is a 3D object. It has height, width and depth, and although it may not be the most obvious tool to help us to draw with, it can be really useful to practice drawing more difficult shapes fast. So let's put pencil to paper and try it out. So when we're drawing a coil, we just need to start with a circle, and then keeping our pencil on the paper, draw another circle next to it, and so on to create a spiral. We can draw our spiral in any shape or size and change direction easily to create shapes which, unlike a regular penciled outline, straight away have form or depth. And with a bit of practice we can use spirals to draw pretty much anything, but I find it especially useful for drawing things that twist and turn and things that would otherwise be a little bit tricky, like arms, legs, trunks and anywhere where you need to apply rules of foreshortening. And it's a really great way to get a sketch down on paper really quickly before refining and adding detail, as you'll see when I sketch out my Converse shoe. So you can see I've written out the word coils using the spiral technique, and as I outline the shapes I've drawn, you can see quite quickly that I have drawn an arm, a donut, a vase with a flower in it, a leg, a foot, and last of all, a slinky snake. And as with any new technique, with practice and a healthy dose of patience, you will get the hang of it and see progress in your drawing skills. Now it's time to tackle the shoe, and on the face of it this looks like a bit of a challenge. So to begin with, I'm just tracing the shape of the coils I'm going to draw over my reference picture, starting from the top and working down towards the toe. So when I actually go to my sketchbook, my brain kind of remembers the motion and it's easier to repeat. But a top tip here is use a light hand for your sketch. Notice I'm not even holding the pencil close enough for you to see my hand. And another tip is don't worry about making your spirals perfect. This method is all about getting the basic shapes down quickly, and I find it also helpful to take a step back rather than have your head too close to the paper. So in this way you're getting the overall shape more accurately, and you're enabled to concentrate on the finer details later once you're done with the sketching. So once you've done that, it's then time to add in some more detail. And notice again that I'm still holding my pencil fairly far back from the point so I don't press down too hard. And notice as well how the coil method has helped me draw a shape that straight away has form, which makes this drawing of our 3D shoe a lot easier and quicker. And also notice as well that when I'm doing the middle of the shoe and the laces, automatically, because we've already got a kind of a coil or oval shape over the shape of the foot, I'm not tempted to draw these lines straight. I actually follow the spiral shape over the shoe, and that helps me give the shoe form and also get my sketch more accurate. But at this stage it's still quite rough and scribbly. I'm not concentrating too much on detail, I'm just getting everything in the right place and in the right proportion. And then I do the same with my second shoe. So I'm still using my reference picture and that's off to the side, but I'm not concentrating too much on the details. I'm really just using it to plot out where everything is and using the coils that I've drawn down as a guide to help me make sure that I've got depth and making my sketches a bit more 3D and realistic right from the start. So it helps me draw all the different features of the shoe, wrapping around that initial coil shape rather than just doing it flat or 2D. And this method is a lot quicker than perhaps other methods that you might use to get the same result. So I've talked in the past about using grids or even tracing out your outline, but the benefit of this method is that it is a lot quicker and it helps train your eye so that when you try and do drawings yourself freehand, you've got a better idea of how things go. You're not relying on tracing an image or anything like that. You are actually teaching yourself, and through practice and getting things right and also getting things wrong, you will actually learn and things will get easier as you go on. So it's pretty much a case of, as I said, practice and patience means progress. So now I'm going over the shoe with a little bit more detail, pressing down slightly harder on my pencil and concentrating a little bit more on areas like the laces and making sure that I've got all those folds and twists in right. And I think if you focus on these too much in the beginning, you can get a bit bogged down, and also if they're not in the right place to start with, you end up having to rub them out and start again. But because we've sketched them in and we know they're in the right place and everything's in proportion, we can now concentrate on getting those details in and making it look a bit more refined and a bit more polished. So I also mentioned in the beginning of the video that this method can be useful when you're trying to draw things that are foreshortened. So I found this really helpful. So drawing things that are foreshortened means basically that if something's facing the front, then you're not actually drawing the full length of the shoe as it is from the side. There is a certain amount of shortening. And because we're using the coil method or the spiral of the spring, it kind of helps us to get that in perspective, and it still takes a little bit of practice, but I found this technique really helped me, and I'll certainly be using it again in future drawings and in areas where I need to kind of get a grip with how things look from different angles and how the shape of them changes depending on what angle they're at and which direction they're facing in. But I still needed my reference picture to look at to know about the different proportions to start with and just how everything fitted together, especially those laces, which, as I said, can be a bit tricky. I also did watch a couple of videos using this method. I kind of stumbled across them really because I wasn't really looking for them, but I will put in a card above one of the videos that I watched, which kind of gave me the idea of using this method and putting it into practice to draw these Converse shoes, because I thought using a grid might make it a bit tricky and tracing it didn't really help teach me anything about how to draw it myself. So once I'd done the drawing, I then went and outlined it in my black marker. So this stage is optional, but once I'd done this, it was just a case of rubbing out my guidelines from underneath, and then it's ready for the colouring in stage, which I'm going to do on Friday's video. And let me know what you thought of this method, if you've tried it at home, if you found it really helpful, or if you've just found it really confusing. But as I said, I do think it takes a little bit of practice and perhaps I'll do some more videos with this technique so we can further get to grips with it and try it out some more. So anyway, let me know what you thought of this video and this technique if you did try it at home, and remember to give this video a thumbs up, comment and subscribe to my channel. And there it is, all finished. So it's just a case of rubbing out those guidelines now, ready for the colouring in stage. So hopefully you like this video, let me know what you think, and I will see you all on Friday for the colouring in. So tune in to see how I coloured this pair of Converse shoes in. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on Friday. Bye!